Right, we are here in New Zealand. I'm actually at the property of Tony Herlihy. Hello, Tony.
How are you going, Paul?
Very, very well. What a beautiful day.
Yeah, no, it is. It got a bit fresh this morning, but you weren't here early.
I was up, but I didn't do a lot, I can be honest. I did look at it and I thought, no, it's no good. It is a great part of the world. You've got a beautiful property here with so much history and that around it. Do you pinch yourself sometimes?
Yeah, no, well, we've been here since, I think it was about 91 when me and Mark Purden bought this property together. And yeah, so it's been, that's 30-something years. So yeah, no, but it's been great. Got good 40 acres and very accessible to everything. It's not far away, everything around here, sort of Alexander Park's about 40 minutes up the road.
Yeah, there's some big announcements, and we'll touch on those. But the team itself looked like you've got a much smaller team, I suppose, to the your busier days. You've got a great strike rate, great success rate with these horses at the minute, especially your trotters.
Yeah, well, they've been a bit of a breakthrough. The trotters, I think they're such nice horses these days compared to what they used to be, and don't take the time as much time as they used to do. And the breeding is just fine down that much. These horses just want to get out and trot, the majority of them.
Yeah, the filly that won the Derby, her name's escaped me in a single moment. With Tony Cameron. Firstly, congratulations. I reckon it was huge, giving a gentleman a drive in a Group 1. You sat on the bench. You could have watched it. You're an owner. So, I mean, you sat on the bench and watch it. And I think, I keep saying we need new people in our sport. We need people like Tony as well staying in it. So was that a good thrill, sitting there and watch? Is that your first Group 1 you've watched as a trainer?
Yeah, I think it would have been. I was sort of sitting there watching it, and Maurice McKendry was there, and when she won, he said, "Oh, that was a Group 1 race." I said, "Oh, was it?" I said, "What was it worth?"
But I mean, it's great faith you have in your staff.
Yeah, no, he's been with me for 12 or 13 years, Tony, and he's come ahead in leaps and bounds from when he began, and he's just a really good little horseman, and he's great with all the young ones here, and he's a big help to me.
He's got a great story, but that filly winning that, did Double Delight, did she win a Derby?
She might have run second in the Derby, I think, but
it's a big effort, a filly winning a trotting Derby, isn't it? But it's happened the last couple of years, but it's still a bloody big effort. Yeah,
it is, and it was, it comes as a real pleasant surprise. I had Phil Williamson staying here with me with one of the favourites, and she ran a great race for third. And no, it was just a great night.
That'd be a bit of fun with Phil here.
Yeah, no, it always is.
Empire City, of course, is that horse, and hopefully she makes it back soon. You said there before, you said if I had got here early enough, I could have had a drive. I could have had a drive on a horse. I was like, oh yeah, I was okay. But then when you said Bolt, but how is he progressing?
Yeah, it was just his second work back from jogging for 6 weeks or so. He sounds good and seems good in himself, and he seems very well in himself, but his breathing seems been good. That was the worrying part, was he had that entrapment operation, and without being stressed so far, he sounds really good.
Yeah, so he had a pedal bone issue, unfortunately, which that was curtailed, and then basically getting him ready, I think it was for the Grins and that, wasn't it? That he went amiss again in the wind, and as you said then, it was an entrapment. So he's had a couple of bad luck stories, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. They've sort of had a couple of years where he sort of, like you say, after Melbourne with the Inter-Dominions and broke a pedal bone, and then I had him back up, and he come up really good last year. Took him down to Christchurch, and that's where he sort of got a bit crook again, and then he added this entrapment come on. So yeah, so it's been another fair few months without him racing. Yeah.
Is it frustrating watching some of these trotters and like the money that they're racing for, and you can measure up with them? I mean, I might ask you in a second about Just Believe, but you can race these horses, and unfortunately he's there on the sidelines.
Extremely frustrating.
A very honest answer, that's for sure.
Yeah, no. It is, because Just Believe, terrific horse, and there's so many others too around at the same time. We're racing, but I do think he's as good as any of them when he's right on his day. So yeah. I
say it to a lot of people. I remember watching Muscle Mountain. I think actually it might have been the race. It might have been when he did go awry, and I did say at the time Muscle Mountain was the best horse in the Southern Hemisphere because of the horses that you had down here and the way that he was winning. And I've been ridiculed since, because I remind him. But I'm happy to say that at the time. But I mean, Just Believe now, he has that mantle. But it's actually awesome when you can have discussions about 2 and 3 different horses on two sides of the ditch, if you like, and seeing what Just Believe does over, travelling the world. It is cool, but from your point of view, where you're sitting, must be so frustrating, though.
Yeah, and then it's great to see a fellow like Greg Sugars and Jess doing so well with a great horse, and they've looked after him and made him into the horse that he is now, and he's got great stamina, as we know, and we raced him, and then Sunday Sun, and the horse of Duns, who was a great little champion. So, so Bolt's raced against some of the best. So, yeah.
It was a pity for the Australians that a horse like Sunday Sun didn't get to go to Australia as well. There's a couple of reasons there that he can't. One, he wore 2 poles, so you can't wear them in Australia. But I mean, it was just very interesting. It is, and I think it's great. It's great for the sport. I said there before, you like the way the trotters have evolved. Do you enjoy the way, I suppose, the trotters are growing, that there are so many more? I think it would have nearly been 50-50 last night, trotting races to pacing races. Do you enjoy that side of it? And did you ever think it'd happen?
Well, I probably didn't ever think it would happen, but it is good to see. It's been really good to watch, and seeing the horses, like I said, the breeding's evolved so much in the last 20 odd years, 15 years sort of thing, with the stallions we get down here now, and crossed with those mares, and the next generation's been even better again. So I think that's got a hell of a lot to do with the Muscle Hill side of things and all that sort of carry on.
Do you have a favourite line? Is it like that Muscle Hill line, or is there a line you just like, or you just like the horse? Yeah,
I do like the horse, but I will have to say that I'm a bit of a fan of Muscle Hill, and I saw him win the Hambletonian. Actually, I was there on the day when he trotted 150 as a 3-year-old, broke the world record, and I've always been pretty keen on him and his stock. So yeah,
and they seem to just get better and better, the stock, don't they? People ride them off, and like I wear a Woodlands hat, and a lot of people are happy to ride off What the Hill, and then they changed their tune all of a sudden, including yourself, because the Derby winner this year.
Yeah, well, like you said, he's won the last 2 Derbies, I think.
Love Me Too.
Yeah, Love Me Too. Yeah. So he's doing a great job, and I think they could get a bit better with a bit of age, the What the Hills, and the ones I've had, they are with you. They've got a good attitude.
Yeah. What is it like with you? Like, are you going to continue training here? Don't take this the wrong way, you're not getting any younger and all the rest, but you still have a dead set love for the game, and you want to continue training?
Yeah, I enjoy my Friday nights at Alexander Park. I don't obviously travel anywhere near as much as I used to, and if we get a good horse, it's enjoyable to travel with a good horse, as you know, and so that's the only times I really travel, and it's been pretty easy for me here now, and just working out a few horses, and I've got shares in quite a few of them, and breed a couple of them, so that's the enjoyable side of it. Like I say, I bred that little trotting filly that won, from an old friend of mine that I used to drive for. I borrowed a mare off him there, and this is the granddaughter sort of thing of that start of that generation. So,
do you get a kick out of that? Like I said there before about Tony driving it, but I mean, obviously, did you break her in?
Yeah. No, we had her from a foal right through and broke her in, and everything did everything with her. So she's kept coming along there, and she's been a great little filly so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and again, I spoke to someone the other day about it. We do undersell it sometimes, what we are able to achieve in standardbreds as compared to the thoroughbred guys. Get up every morning and work them and progress through, and quite unique for yourself to put a person that came on here a little bit green to 10 years, 11 years later winning a Group 1. You may not sit down that night, but there'll be times when you do sit back and reflect on it. It's a bloody good achievement right across the board.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's there to be shared, and it's good. A lot of people help me along the way, so I don't mind trying to help anybody in the game, because if they're in the game, they deserve all the help they can get, and as we know, it's not the easiest job in the world to do, and there's a lot of ups and downs, and we've been through most of them.
It's a school of hard knocks, that's for sure. You said there before about Auckland racing on the Friday nights, and because that's now started up. Big announcements the other day with Harness Racing New Zealand. It's great. We needed these announcements. $10 million in stake money and for the next 3 years is just outstanding, and all the people getting behind it. It's great for the sport, but the sport now have to lift our socks up, and we have to put a show on and make sure that people keep punting on what we have. Yeah,
that's right. And it's there's just so many revenues out there to punt on now that it's nowhere near as easy as it used to be. As you know, there's only so many spending dollars to go around for, you've got all sorts of betting now, and so it makes it hard to get that dollar, but we're certainly doing with Entain and the team there doing as good as we can with what we've got.
3-year-old trotter. I actually just went around and interviewed Matty White, yourself. There's some nice trotters around. Actually, yours didn't get a mention actually when I was around to Matty. I apologise for that, but it is exciting. Especially coming up the end of the season, like they're going to put a lot more. Sex races for fillies, both for the trotters and the pacers. But then you've got this slot race that was announced. Then, if you can get a nice high-class horse, there's a $400,000 Dominion handicap. So it is exciting, and a lot of people say it's only geared at the top end, but it gives you something to aspire to, doesn't it?
It does, and like you say, it's only geared at the top end, but if you're lucky enough to get a good horse, it is great to race for. Big opportunities like that, and as we know, anybody, and they can come from anywhere, like a good horse, as we know, and anybody can get one, and if they've got one, they'll know.
And it's great for the industry, and like Matty, hopefully it works out for him with Paramount Kiwi, but I mean, it doesn't matter, but they have struggle and they're having a crack. The young team young trainers getting the team going, and there's nice little carrots there at the end of the rainbow for them. I get a bit critical. A few people are a bit critical of where they've put the money and should be putting it into lower class races, but I take a sit back and have a look. But I enjoyed the positivity last night there at Auckland.
No, that's right, and they've got to have that bottom end, as we know, and that's where they'll come from. And I think, as long as they've got enough horses to race, we'll just need Breckens to breed another 300 or 400.
Well, that is the worry. Has the breed never been something you said there about breeding the trotter? You only breed a couple, or have you ever thought about really getting into it?
Well, probably the last 10 years, I've probably bred from 4 or 5 mares most years. It's costly, as we know. But I thought, well, it's no use whinging about it. If I don't do it, I can't expect other people to do it. So we've done that and had a bit of success with a couple of.
You've had a Group 1. You've had more than a bit. You've had great success.
And a couple of the others, they've been bred and raced and sold on and done a good job in Australia or America and that sort of thing. So it's always good to keep an eye on and watch. And they started off here as foals sort of thing. So
Tone, thank you. I can sit back and talk to you about all the horses that have come off this track. There is so much history on it, and it's quite. How big is the track actually? It doesn't look like it's that wide, but how big is the track?
It's dead on half mile. Yeah.
So you train them on a half-mile track, and the amount of winners that have walked off here would be ridiculous, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like Lightning Blue and those sort of horses come off here, and I don't know how many Auckland Cup winners were trained off here from Aussie and the other ones that have come up here,
South Islanders.
Yeah, Enterprise, where he was trained here before he won the Auckland Cup, and so there's a lot of memories on the track, and I remember working. Kevin Williams, good little horse that won the Miracle Mile on the track here.
I can't remember his name either, but I've been to their place. They're from the South Island. I've actually been there as well, and he's a horse a lot of people forget about, and including you right at the minute. But
I think I worked him the last time when Kevin took him to Harold Park. He brought him out here, and he said, "Oh, you drive him, Tony." He said, "You know the track," and I bowled him up here, and then a week later he won the Miracle Mile, so it was good.
You worked good enough to win a Miracle Mile, you thought?
Must have moved,
yes.
It was.
Yes, well done. Just a random one, I'll give you 2 seconds to think about it. What is the best horse you've been associated with? Now, that's why I'm going to give you a couple of secs, because I can see you've got the wheels spinning. Because it can be one that you've driven. It could be, one that you've trained in partnership with Mark, one that you've seen with Roy, one that's just been here on the place. Is there like one horse that stands out above the rest, or is it just you've just been in a very fortunate position with so many good horses coming through?
Yeah, I've been in an extremely fortunate position, but one that's always stuck in my mind, and I think Barry will agree with me that probably Chokin was the all out and out. He had a problem towards the end of his career, but I thought that last season he had a bleeding problem, and probably that last season when I remembered back on the races that he went and the runs he got, if he had been 100%, I think he would have won a lot of them. Yeah. That was when he won the Victoria Cup in Melbourne there, and if he'd gone on then without his problem occurring, I think he would have just about gone that season unbeaten, just with the runs he ended up getting and what have you.
A lot of people forget the brutal speed that he did have, that horse. And towards the end of his career, he probably lost a little bit of that because of other issues happening. But just brutal high speed, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, if he had been right through, phenomenal horse, and real strong horse too, real ability.
You going to get another one of them one day?
We're still trying. Yeah.
Tone, thank you. Really appreciate it. It's great news, everything that's happening in here. And, this was just a chat, as I said, just to promote the industry. I love promoting the industry, but you got so much history. I reckon I'm going to pencil in probably half a day one day. I'll bring the podcaster back. We'll try and eke out a little bit more of the history of Tony Herlihy. But thank you very much for the chat, mate.
No problem, Paul. No problem.